Hi, thank you for attending this session today. I am Associate Professor Elaine Xiao, and I am the SIT Program Leader for Nursing. Together with the University of Glasgow Program Director, Associate Professor Dora House, we look after the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program. Today, I will provide more information about the Joint Degree Nursing program, following which Dora will tell you more about the Overseas Immersion program offered by the University of Glasgow. On behalf of SIT and UOG, we would like to extend a warm welcome to all of you for joining us here at the SIT Virtual Open House 2022. Although we're not able to conduct this event face-to-face, I hope you'll find this session useful in helping you make informed choices about your university admission application. Let me briefly outline what I'll be covering in today's info session. I will provide some information about the nursing program in terms of the application requirements and the program structure. Next, I will talk about the type of learning and activities that we use in our nursing program. I will also highlight some key achievements by our students. Lastly, I will end by explaining why you should choose to study at the SIT UOG Bachelor of Nursing. To begin, I would like to introduce our nursing students and faculty. These are our previous batches of nursing students. You may have recognized some familiar faces in these photographs. So, you must be wondering, what is the Bachelor of Science in Nursing program? This is a full-time joint degree program that is tailored for Diploma in Nursing graduates. The program is conducted over 2 academic years, or to be more specific, over 5 trimesters. This program is accredited by the Singapore Nursing Board, and we had the inaugural intake in 2016. For AY 2022 students, you will be the 7th nursing cohort in SIT. There are several things you need to take note of before making your application. Our candidate selection is based on a holistic approach that considers passion and suitability for the program. Other than the academic achievements, we also consider other aspects such as co-curricular involvement and contribution to the community. Students applying to study the nursing program should be qualified as a registered nurse, be registered and hold a full practicing certificate from the Singapore Nursing Board, and currently we can only take students who have graduated with a diploma in nursing from Nanyang Polytechnic and Ngee Ann Polytechnic. Let me walk you through our program structure. Because students entering our program would have completed 3 years of diploma education, we take into consideration the prior learning curriculum. Therefore, nursing students entering the post-registration nursing program will begin as Year 3 students. For the first trimester, students will be taking 3 modules. Health System is a cluster-wide module where you'll get to interact with allied health students. The Design Innovation module is a university-wide module where you'll get to work on projects with students from other disciplines. The Health Assessment and Clinical Reasoning module has a 2-week clinical posting to various tertiary hospitals. And lastly, Healthcare Ethics teaches students to critically explore different perspectives in various ethical healthcare issues. In trimester 2, you will get to complete part 2 of Design Innovation module. Students will be enrolled into the Digital Competency Essentials or DICE module. This module is flexible and allows students to complete the lectures and quizzes at their own pace. Students will also get to take the Principles and Practice of Population Health and Research Methods module. In trimester 3, students are excited because they get to do the Overseas Immersion program, where they get to travel to the University of Glasgow to participate in this program. Students will also have to complete 3 other modules: Evidence-Based Practice, Managing Long-Term Conditions, and Health and Social Policy. All these modules that are offered in Year 3 help lay the foundation for you to complete your honours thesis, which begins in Year 4. The focus of Year 4 is mostly on honours thesis. This will be staggered over 2 trimesters. Students will also have to do other modules. The Teaching and Learning module includes a 2-week clinical posting to various healthcare institutions. Students will get to apply their knowledge in leadership and change management and the development in nursing practice. Lastly, we offer students an option for electives in the final trimester. As you can see, the curriculum is meant to build on your existing knowledge and to advance other important skills that are needed in clinical practice, such as critical thinking, design thinking, digital and technology, and research. This slide summarizes the duration of clinical placement in this program. There are altogether 3 clinical placements, and each of them is over 2 weeks. In SIT, we use a variety of teaching pedagogy, such as collaborative learning, peer learning, and for students to take ownership of their learning through active participation in various activities, such as debates, clinical simulation, group work, role play, and many others. As you know, COVID-19 has not been easy for many of us. To make sure that learning is not compromised, our students engage in hybrid mode of learning. This involves the use of online lectures and some small face-to-face group learning. We are also exploring the use of technology to enhance student learning. When you join us in Year 3, you'll be doing a module called Health Assessment and Clinical Reasoning. There is an OSCE component in this module. While this is a graded assessment, students learn a lot from this experience, and it has helped them to be more confident in performing health assessment in practice. Students are involved in service learning in the health promotion module, where they get to do community activities and conduct surveys to residents. Clinical placement still forms an integral part of our nursing education here at SIT. Students are encouraged to put their learning to practice during clinical postings. Our students have many notable achievements over the past years. In 2019, we're proud to announce that our nursing students won the first prize in the Maple Tree Challenge. This was for a project that they did in the Health Innovations module. Our students have submitted abstracts and was accepted at local conferences. We are proud of our alumni, Miss Evangeline Tan, who was recently featured in the 2020 commemorative nursing book. Life at SIT is not all work without fun. We have a range of clubs and activities for students to participate. This will allow you to broaden your horizons and make new friends from various disciplines in the university. And not forgetting our distinguished alumni who have been involved in various aspects of the program, such as sharing their thesis journey with the juniors, and Mr. Walter Ting, who completed his studies here at SIT and returned to CGH to help set up the C+ wards for COVID patients. At the end of the day, when all is over, we look forward to the big graduation day. We hope that we can take group photos like this when the COVID situation gets better. Before I end this session, I would like to take a few minutes to explain why you should be joining us here at SIT. First, this is a direct honors program. This means that all students qualify to take the honors thesis module. Second, this is a full-time degree program. Unlike part-time degree program that takes a longer time to complete, you get to focus on your studies for 2 academic years before joining the nursing workforce. Third, this program builds on your prior knowledge and helps you to integrate your knowledge and practice to enhance the delivery of care to your patients. And lastly, as adult learners, we expose students to various modes of learning in the acquisition of knowledge and skills. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for staying till the end. We hope to see your applications during our upcoming admissions exercise. Take care and stay healthy. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Dora House. I'm one of the directors for the joint SIT UOG Bachelor of Science with Honours in Nursing programme, and I'm going to share with you a very short presentation about the Overseas Immersion programme. The Overseas Immersion programme is a 4-week study tour to Glasgow. It usually takes place in trimester 3, so that's the summertime, and it's very appropriate that we have a lovely picture here in the gardens by the university with the trees and leaf and the flowers all flowering really beautifully. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the programme, but before I tell you, I'd like to share just some background to put some context to it by telling you a little bit about the university. So if you just bear with me, I will move to the next slide. Okay, so the university was established in 1451. It makes it one of the oldest English-speaking universities in the world, unlike SIT, which is one of the youngest autonomous universities in Singapore. So we've got a nice merging of the old and the new there together. Glasgow University was ranked in one of the top 100 universities around the world. So that's something that we are immensely proud of. And we were also named by the Times Higher Education Institution as the University of the Year for 2021. So again, we're very, very happy about this. As a university, we pride ourselves not just in our teaching, but also our research. So we are a member of what's called the Russell Group of Research-Intensive UK Universities. This is a group of 24 universities across the United Kingdom who have research output, which is of outstanding quality, and we are within that. 81% of our output is judged to be internationally excellent or better. So we have quite a reputation for the work that we do here at the university. A couple of things that you might be familiar with, but might not have particularly thought about, that have emanated from the University of Glasgow is firstly, of course, the Glasgow Coma Scale. I'm sure you'll all be familiar with this particular tool. And I'll say a little bit more about that in a wee while. The other one is, of course, statins, and for cardiology, things like simvastatins, they also emanated from the University of Glasgow in the 1990s. And I had the privilege of being part of that research team when we were investigating its efficacy. So we are really excited to be able to share what we have developed over the years, and for you when you come to the actual university, when you come for your overseas immersion programme. In terms of our students, well, we have almost 35,000 students. It's almost unimaginable, from 140 countries, if not more. And we are particularly delighted to have this relationship, this special relationship and bond that we have created with our Singaporean colleagues. My colleagues in Glasgow are always only too happy to host yourselves when you come over. And my colleagues from the NHS are always very excited to be able to have students from Singapore come to visit. They really enjoy that opportunity to exchange ideas and insights and so on. So it's very much a synergistic experience, that you've got something to give from your insights into healthcare in Singapore, and you'll also hopefully be able to take something away from Glasgow from your experience. Again, within that Russell Group, we are ranked second for our teaching and our student satisfaction. So it's not just about the research that we engage in, it's also about how we deliver our teaching and how students feel about their experience. And hopefully you will have that same positive experience in the journey. We have over 250 student clubs and societies on campus in Glasgow. I'm not sure how many of them will be open, but certainly the gym will be open when you're here. And there will be lots of other activities ongoing at the time. Summertime is just a wonderful time to be able to come over to Glasgow. One of the things that you would need to think about is the daylight. We have daylight from about 4 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, which makes it a very long day, but a wonderful day, and gives you lots of opportunities to pace yourself during the day in terms of things that you do. In terms of employment, over 82.7% of our students are in full-time employment in Singapore within the first 6 months. That's taking a general picture. If you think about nursing students, almost 100% of yourselves will be in employment. I know many of you will be sponsored by your institutions for coming onto this programme. And those of you who are not sponsored, I'm sure you will be gaining a job pretty quickly as soon as you've completed your studies. So there is never an issue with employability after undertaking this programme. Okay, just to give you a little bit about Glasgow itself, there is a saying that people make Glasgow, and it really is very true. This is a picture here of what's called the Squinty Bridge. It's a fairly new bridge. It's one of the most modern bridges that we have across the River Clyde. And of course, Glasgow was built on the River Clyde as a merchant and as a trading port initially. And of course, it's grown quite substantially since then. It was named first for friendliness and affordability. And I think that still, is as relevant today, despite the pandemic. And it's the UK's third largest city and one of the world's top student cities. It's vibrant. There is always something happening in Glasgow. It's got a very lively nightlife with over 700 bars, pubs, nightclubs and cinemas. So there's something there for everybody to engage in. And it's the UK's first UNESCO City of Music, and it hosts around 130 music events every week. In fact, they're gearing up at the moment for what's called Celtic Connections in the new year. Or in fact, it'll be next month now because we're in January. And that is a lot of traditional and folk music from all around the world that come together because of the depths and the darknesses of winter, and it just makes everything light and lightens the mood. Glasgow is consistently voted one of the top places to shop in the UK outside of London and its West End. And really, I think there's a message in there that when you do come to Glasgow is to travel light, because your suitcases will be bursting by the seams on the way home. And we know that from good experience from our past students. They like to shop in Glasgow and they find the prices reasonable. And of course, with your Glasgow matriculation card, you have the opportunity to get extra discounts in some of the shops. We also have a range of parks and public gardens, all of which are free for entry. In fact, we have a lovely museum behind us called the Kelvin Grove Museum, which has got lovely grounds, lovely galleries inside. So you could spend either a rainy day in Glasgow inside and a nice day having a picnic on the lawn. There is plenty to do around about. And we also have a number of museums and art galleries. We have the Hunterian Museum on site at Glasgow University, and it's got some renowned pieces of art and paraphernalia within it. So it's well worth a visit when you do come to Glasgow itself. Okay, enough about the university and about Glasgow. I mean, I could wax lyrical about Glasgow forever, but really what you want to know about is the Overseas Immersion Programme. So, as I said earlier, the Overseas Immersion Programme is a 4-week excursion to Glasgow, which usually takes place around the end of June, beginning of July. And it is structured in a way that in the first week, we have some guest lectures. We get you familiarised with the NHS, how we organise our care, how infection control processes and practices work, how we care for students in the clinical setting, and so on. So we have our clinical colleagues come in and talk to you and prepare you for your observational clinical posting. We then have 2 weeks of observed clinical posting. So you will buddy up with another student. So you will go into different clinical areas in pairs, and that will give you a good all-rounded experience, both within the community and in acute and in our nursing homes, which I have to say are really quite different from the nursing homes that you will have experienced in Singapore itself, and also some specialised services that we provide here in Glasgow. So it will give you a really good and rich insight into how we care for people, particularly people who have long-term conditions, who are managing long-term conditions, because the Overseas Immersion Programme is part of a module that looks at how we care for people who have long-term conditions in the communities. At the top there, you see the pictures of the university itself. At the top left, you've got an overview of Glasgow and the hills beyond, and the top right is what we call the cloisters. I always think it's very Harry Potterish, and these are always lit up with wee twinkly lights around the columns for graduation and so on. It's a lovely area just to wander around. At the bottom left, we have the Queen Elizabeth University Hospital. That's the newest and the biggest hospital in Europe. It was opened in 2014, if my memory serves me correctly. And it actually stands on the site of the old Southern General Hospital in Glasgow. The old Southern General Hospital in Glasgow is a site of particular relevance to us because it is the hospital where the Glasgow Coma Scale was first developed. So we're very excited that you'll be able to see the buildings that are there now. Quite something to behold. On the other side, again, we've gone from the new to the old. We have Glasgow Royal Infirmary, which is the oldest hospital within Glasgow and actually stands on the site of the original university. It was housed next door to the infirmary, but as the university grew, they needed more land, more space, so they moved to their current position. And actually, they took some bits and pieces with them as well. You'll see some gates and the entrance to the old building that actually have been taken from Glasgow Royal Infirmary up to the current place at Gilmer Hill. So there's plenty for you to see there. So you'll have 2 weeks there where you will be out with people, and then you will do a presentation, and then our last week we have some added value stuff. You'll be able to meet thesis supervisors, other students. We have some specialist service people that come in to talk to you, some folks that talk about policy and how policies are made in Scotland. So we try and we make it as rich and as fruitful an event for you as possible. Okay, so that's a little bit about the Overseas Immersion programme. I'd like to thank you for your time. If you want to ask me any questions about that, here's my email address. But thank you very much for your attention. Thanks. Enjoy. Bye.